That afternoon I wrapped my board meeting early and came home, only to hear sounds upstairs that had no business being there. Standing at the foot of the staircase, I clenched my car keys until my knuckles went white. 3 years of marriage, and I'd assumed Marcus still had a bottom line. Apparently not, he'd actually brought a woman into our marital penthouse. "Marcus, when's Serena coming back?" A sugary voice drifted from the master suite. I recognized it instantly, Brielle, the new assistant at his firm. "She's pulling a late night at the office, relax." Marcus answered with a softness he'd never used on me. I gave a cold laugh and crept up the steps. The door was ajar. Through the crack I saw a sight that turned my stomach. Marcus was stroking Brielle's cheek with a tenderness 100 times greater than any he'd ever shown me. "As soon as I wrap up the company transfer, I'll divorce Serena, and we'll be out in the open." "But Serena's so smart, what if she finds out?" "Smart how?" "I control the company, she can't make a ripple." Marcus chuckled, smug. "Besides, everything in this house is titled to me. Worst case, she walks away with the clothes on her back." I drew a slow breath, stepped back downstairs, silent. 3 years ago, blind with love, I'd signed over the equity stake in my startup and put the lakeside mansion solely in his name. Looking back, I'd been an utter fool. But the game had only just begun. I pulled out my phone and texted my assistant, "Book me a meeting with Leah tonight." Message sent. I slammed the front door loud enough to echo. "Marcus, I'm home." Upstairs went dead quiet, then came the frantic patter of feet. 5 minutes later Marcus descended, straightening his shirt, flashing a counterfeit smile. "Honey, why so early?" "Meeting got cancelled." I feigned innocence. "What were you doing up there?" "Took you a while." "Oh, just some work in the home office." His gaze flickered. "Let me get you some water." "No need. I'll take a shower first." I headed up deliberately and heard him exhale behind me. Inside the master suite the air still carried another woman's perfume. The bed had been remade, but the pillows were dented, the comforter uneven. I slid open the dresser drawer, my jewelry box sat askew. Grandma's jade bangle was gone. I smirked, snapped photos of the scene. In the bathroom mirror I studied myself. 28, founder of a tech unicorn, looks that could stop traffic, betrayed by the man I trusted most. But I wouldn't cry or scream. I'd teach Marcus that crossing me was the dumbest decision of his life. After the shower I wrapped myself in silk and padded downstairs. Marcus was already rattling pans. "Whatever you feel like," I said. "By the way, how's your assistant Brielle working out?" His spatula froze midair. "She's fine, diligent. Heard she's pretty." "Competence matters more." He couldn't meet my eyes. "Really?" I let a half-smile play on my lips. "Glad to hear it." That night I left under the excuse of overtime and drove to Leah's office. "Serena, you sure you want to go nuclear?" Leah asked, flipping through the folder I'd handed her. "Positive." He showed no mercy, "Neither will I." "Understood." She closed the file. "It'll take time, stay patient." "I've got all the time in the world." By the time I got back Marcus was asleep. I tiptoed into the home office and woke his laptop. As his wife, I knew every password. Half an hour later I'd copied every ledger, then scrubbed the audit trail. Next morning Marcus kissed my cheek on his way out. "Big day, might be late, don't wait up." "Go get M," I answered sweetly. The instant the door clicked shut I made a call. "CEO, Serena here. I've got a proposition." Marcus assumed I was clueless, but I'd mapped his shell game months ago. For 3 years he'd been siphoning revenue, inflating valuations while hollowing the core. The cash had flowed into an alphabet soup of offshore accounts. 2 days of forensic digging and I had the blueprint. Wednesday afternoon my phone buzzed, private. Vance, new intel. Talk. Sterling keeps Brielle in a condo south of downtown, been footing the bill 6 months. Bought the unit 3 months ago, titled solely to her. I tightened my grip on the phone. Keep going. She's pregnant, 10 weeks along. The words hit like a hammer, no heartbreak, just white-hot rage. Not only had he cheated, he was letting the other woman carry his child. There's more, he's courting outside investors for a large-scale exit. Stay on him. Report anything that moves. I leant back in my chair, eyes closed, and counted breaths. Cool and steady, Serena. Play the long game. 5 p.m., assistant knocked. Vance, Sterling's secretary called, client dinner tonight, he'll be very late. I gave a thin smile. Noted. At 7 I parked across from the downtown condo. Marcus's car sat right out front. I waited, engine off. 2 hours later they appeared, Brielle in a flowing sundress, the faintest swell already showing. Marcus cupped her elbow, beaming like a man who'd won life's lottery. They kissed on the sidewalk until he finally pulled away and drove off. I tailed him home, stayed 5 minutes, then followed him inside. "Oh, you just got in too?" he asked, feigning surprise. "Girls' night, had a few cocktails." I shrugged. "How was schmoozing?" "Client loved the pitch." He lied without missing a beat. "Great." I started up the stairs. "I'm going to rinse off." "I'll brew you some hangover tea," he called. Under the spray my phone pinged, "Leah, paperwork ready." "Green light tomorrow?" "Me, go." Next morning Marcus left blissfully unaware today would detonate his world. 10 a.m., my legal squad was locked and loaded. "Vance, initiate now?" Leah asked for final confirmation. "Launch." Within 30 minutes the sheriff's office, tax bureau, and every major bank executed simultaneous seizures. His corporate accounts were frozen, operations suspended, records subpoenaed. While regulators swarmed, I quietly bought out his minority partner's equity stakes. Noon, Marcus rang, voice cracking. "Serena, small hiccup at work, might be late tonight." "What kind of hiccup?" I used concern. "System glitch froze our accounts, nothing I can't fix." "Need my help?" I asked, playing the loyal wife. "I've got this." His pitch rose at least an octave. The instant he hung up I went back to my spreadsheets. 3 p.m. Vance, Sterling visited Chase. They told him it's a court-ordered freeze, not a glitch. He's dialing lawyers now. Keep me posted. 6 p.m., he finally dragged himself home, pale and twitchy. "Serena, we need to talk." I set my magazine aside. "Shoot." "The company hit a legal snag, might need to tap our savings." "What sort of snag?" "Tax mix-up, need to post bond." "How much?" "Roughly $5 million. That's huge, we don't keep that kind of cash lying around." "We could leverage the house." "No." I cut him off flat. "That's our home." "Serena, you have to trust me, this is temporary." "I do trust you." I squeezed his clammy hand. "But $5 million isn't pocket change." "Give me time to think." "Time," he echoed, panic rising. "Every day we stall costs us 6 figures. Then brainstorm other options, we'll revisit if nothing pans out." That night he camped in the home office, phone glued to his ear. Through the wall I heard each rejection, each bridge burning. "Impossible, why pull credit now?" "CEO, we've done 10 deals together, you can't bail." "Risk profile?" "My track record speaks for itself." I lay in the dark and savored every slammed door. Morning came, Marcus looked haunted, circles under his eyes like bruises. "Honey, about mortgaging the house." "I've been thinking too, I cut in. We need full disclosure before we gamble our future. It's complicated. So uncomplicated, I said, folding my arms. He shifted tactics. Bottom line, we need liquidity, fast. 5 million isn't a line item, it's our life. I won't sign away the roof over our heads on a handshake. His jaw ticked, but he forced a nod. I'll find another way. 10 a.m., private again. Vance, Sterling tried unsecured personal loans, denied citywide. Then he hit up 2 storefront lenders. Loan sharks? I asked, surprised. Licensed, but barely. Word is he's already 6 figures deep with the rougher kind. The picture grew uglier. Brielle visited Women First Clinic, routine prenatal. Sterling held her hand the whole time. I exhaled slowly. Stick to them like glue. By afternoon my inbox held a full forensic report. Marcus had started skimming 6 months ago, funneling company cash into crypto futures, SPAC hype, and a casino condo project. Every play cratered. To paper over losses he'd hypothecated receivables, then turned to staggered loan shark notes. Grand total in the red, north of 20 million. Suddenly his push to mortgage our penthouse made perfect sense. That evening he slunk in even later, nerves frayed. Serena, talked to a few friends, might have a private line on funds. What friends? Business buddies. And they'll front 5 million, just like that? It's not a loan, it's an investment, Marcus said, his gaze flickering. They believe in the company's prospects. I knew he was lying, but I pretended to buy it. That's good. When will the money hit the account? Soon. A week at most. All right, then we'll wait and see. The next few days, Marcus deteriorated fast. He started going out constantly, sometimes several times a day. My people told me he was begging for money everywhere. Some turned him down flat, others named brutal terms. What shocked me most was that he actually went to Brielle's parents. Her father's a small-time contractor. When he heard his daughter was someone's mistress and pregnant, he wanted to break Marcus's legs on the spot. Only Brielle's tearful pleading let Marcus walk out in one piece. Friday night Marcus came home drunk. Serena. He staggered toward me. I'm sorry. I steadied him. How much did you drink? I'm scum. I betrayed you. He suddenly hugged me. But I love you. I really do. I pushed him away. What nonsense are you spouting? Brielle, she's pregnant. He burst into tears. But I love you. Always you. I sneered inside, but arranged my face into shock. What did you say? I messed up. I shouldn't have, but it's too late. Who's Brielle? I asked, pretending ignorance. My assistant, we got together. I stepped back, miming a massive blow. You cheated? Serena, let me explain. Explain what? You betrayed me and got another woman pregnant? My voice shook, not from sorrow, but from rage. No, I love you, enough. I shoved him. Marcus, you make me sick. I spun and ran upstairs, slamming the bedroom door. Inside, I texted my lawyer, moved to the next step. Downstairs Marcus sobbed and apologized, but I didn't want to hear a word. Tomorrow I'll teach him what despair means. I moved into the guest room first thing Saturday. Marcus tried to come in and explain. I locked the door. Serena, please listen, nothing to say. I need a few days to think. What about the company? What company matter? I asked coldly through the door. The mortgage on the house. I'm desperate. Mortgage the house? I laughed. You cheat and still expect me to put up our home? They're two separate things, not to me. I cut him off. Come back after you've cleaned up your mess. He went quiet outside the door, then finally left. At 10, my legal team launched the next offensive. Every firm partnered with Marcus received our cease and desist letters. Simple demand: terminate cooperation immediately and pay damages. I'd negotiated those contracts myself, I knew every loophole. Meanwhile, the tax bureau opened a formal audit. Evidence of his embezzlement lay stacked on the table. The tax he'd evaded was staggering. At noon, Marcus rushed out. I knew his lawyer had called. At 3, Private sent a message: Vance, Sterling spent 2 hours at the law firm and left looking awful. Then he went to the South Side apartment and fought with Brielle. A fight? Yes, we could hear them downstairs. Money. Brielle demanded a lump sum for the baby. He said he's broke, and it turned ugly. Then? Brielle cried and wanted to break up, tired of hiding. He begged, promised to divorce soon, and she relented. I snorted. They think divorce is easy? After that, he hit 3 banks, all refused. Finally, he visited a loan shark office for an hour. Loan shark? Correct. He's already borrowed from several. Looks like he wanted another round. I hung up, mind churning. Marcus is digging his own grave. When he came back at dusk, despair clung to him like sweat. Serena, we need to talk. I don't want to see you. I spoke through the door. Please, 5 minutes. I opened the door. The sight of him startled me. A single day had aged him 10 years. Sit. I pointed to a chair. I know I messed up, but we face something bigger. Like what? Someone's mounting a hostile takeover. Every partner wants out in damages. We could lose tens of millions. I feigned shock. Tens of millions? How? I don't know who's behind it, but they're prepared. Fear swam in his eyes. Without cash within a week, the company's dead. What about your friends? Weren't investors lining up? They backed out. He hung his head. Only the house can save us. I stared at him coldly. You expect me to mortgage our home after you betrayed me? Serena, he suddenly dropped to his knees. Please, for our love, help me this once. Watching him kneel, I felt nothing. Marcus, do you remember what you said 3 years ago when I signed my equity over to you? He blinked, blank. You swore you'd protect me with your life and never let me be hurt. My voice stayed calm. Your word is worthless. I know I was wrong. I laughed. You cheat, knock up your mistress, then ask me to bail you out? Shameless. I can deal with Brielle. How? Make her abort? He fell silent. Can't do it, huh? I stood. Then choose, me or them. You can't force that choice, why not? You already made it when you betrayed me. His face crumpled. I'm tired. Get out. I pointed. Serena, out. He stumbled to the doorway, looked back. If I fix things with Brielle, will you consider the mortgage? I answered only with a cold stare. He left. That night Brielle called. Serena, it's Brielle. Her voice shook. I replied calmly, what do you want? Can we meet? I need to talk about Marcus. Nothing to discuss. Please, just once. It's important. I paused. Fine. Tomorrow, 3 o'clock, City Espresso Bar. Thank you. I hung up, guessing she'd either beg me to step aside or offer some trade. Curiosity won. Next afternoon I walked in on time. Brielle was already there, looking haggard, belly bigger than before. Serena. She half rose, flustered. Sit. My tone was ice. I don't know where to start. She twisted her cup. Then don't. I'm leaving. I half stood. Wait. She blurted. I know you hate me, but you have to hear this. Talk. Marcus, he owes everywhere, not just the company. Her voice was tiny. He says if the house doesn't cash out, he'll bolt. I frowned. Bolt? Yes. He's getting ready to hide down south. What about you? She looked down. He told me he can't watch out for me or the baby right now. Said I should go home to my parents. I gave a short laugh. So you come to me for help? No. She shook her head. Serena, I'm telling you, he never meant to divorce you. Meaning? He told me a divorce splits everything in half and he can't afford that. He wants to stall until the company mess is fixed. My face stayed blank while I laughed inside. Marcus still thinks he can drag this out? He thinks I'll give him time? Serena, I know I was wrong to get involved with a married man. She started to cry. But I love him. I thought he loved me. Realized he doesn't? She nodded. Yesterday he said if I truly love him I'll abort and stop causing trouble. That surprised me. He wants you to end the pregnancy? Yes. Tears streamed. He said it's bad timing, we can have kids later when we're rich. Did you agree? I don't know. She clutched her bump. My first baby. I can't bear it. Watching her, my feelings tangled. As a woman, I understood. As the betrayed wife, I hated her existence. Serena, there's one thing I'm begging. She lifted her eyes. What? If Marcus runs, could you help me? Raising a child alone will be hard. Her gall almost amused me. Why on earth would I? Because, we were both fooled. Her voice was barely air. I thought he'd divorce for me, you thought he'd stay faithful. Turns out he loves only himself. That part was spot on. Marcus is pure selfishness. Brielle, let me be clear, I will not help you. Solve your own problems. I understand. She drooped. One last question, do you still love Marcus? A beat of silence. I did. Not anymore. Will you ever forgive him? Never. She turned paler. I see. I rose to leave, she stopped me again. Serena, one more thing you must know. What? Marcus, he installed cameras, bedroom and home office. My heart clenched. When were they installed? A month ago. He said it was to guard against burglars, but I think he was spying on you. The news hit me like a slap. No wonder Marcus had known my every move lately. Where are the cameras? One's behind the nightstand in the bedroom, the other's on the bookshelf in the home office, both are tiny. Why are you telling me this? Brielle gave a bitter laugh. Because I hate him, too. I studied her for a long second, then turned and walked out of Riverdale. Back home, I searched the bedroom and the home office and found the 2 miniature lenses exactly where she'd said. I didn't remove them, I pretended I knew nothing. If Marcus wanted a show, I'd give him one. That night I made a call in the bedroom. Leah, I've decided to mortgage the house to help Marcus through this crisis. Serena, are you sure? I'm sure. After all, we're husband and wife. I can't watch him go bankrupt. All right, I'll draw up the papers tomorrow. The moment I hung up I knew he was in whatever monitor room he'd rigged, watching. Sure enough, 10 minutes later he knocked. Serena, may I come in? Come in. Marcus stepped inside, face glowing. Serena, I overheard your call, I've thought it through, I said with a sigh. We're married. I can't let you lose everything. Thank you. He lunged to hug me, I pushed him away. But I have conditions. Name them. First, cut Brielle off immediately. Second, never betray me again. Third, return half of my equity stake in the company. Marcus hesitated. About the equity. Take it or leave it, I said coldly. Fine, I agree. I gave a cold laugh. Did he really believe I'd help him? Tomorrow he'd learn what despair tastes like. Early the next morning Marcus began phoning attorneys to prepare the mortgage paperwork. Certain I would save him, he looked lighter than he had in weeks. Serena, thank you for trusting me, he said over breakfast. I answered without interest. I'll handle Brielle. You'll never suffer because of her again. I said nothing and kept eating. At 10 he left for the bank. What he didn't know was that my legal team was already waiting for him. At 11 Leah called. Serena, per your instructions we've retitled the Lakeside Mansion, it's 100% in your name now. Good work. Also, Marcus just tried to pledge the property as collateral and was told it isn't his. He's throwing a tantrum in the lobby. I laughed softly. Let him scream. One more thing, we now have every document we need to prosecute him for embezzlement. We can file whenever you say. Not yet. Let him marinate a little longer. I hung up and spent the rest of the morning working in excellent spirits. At noon Marcus stormed home. Serena. What the hell are you doing? He burst into my home office, face the color of slate. What do you mean? I played innocent. Why is the house suddenly in your name? Oh, that. I kept my voice calm. I had counsel retitle it 3 years ago, I simply never mentioned it. Impossible. It was in my name. It was, but I paid for it, so of course it went to me. I looked at him frostily. Problem? His expression curdled. Then yesterday, when you promised to mortgage, when did I promise anything? I arched an eyebrow. I said I'd think about it. He pointed, speechless. I've finished thinking. The answer is no. Marcus slammed the desk. Serena, you can't do this to me. Can't I? I stood, eyes glacial. You're the one who cheated, who embezzled, who borrowed from loan sharks. Now you blame me? The money was for investments? I sneered. That makes theft acceptable? That justifies shaking down loan sharks? Your logic is adorable. He had no comeback. If you're so desperate, ask your little girlfriend. Doesn't her family have money? Brielle's family is middle class. Then try loan sharks again, practice makes perfect. His face darkened further. Serena, we're married, you can't leave me to die. Married? I let out a brittle laugh. The moment you betrayed me, that marriage ended. I'll cut Brielle off today, too late. I shook my head. Besides, could you abandon her? She's carrying your son. Marcus fell silent. Watching him wrestle with it, I knew he couldn't give up the child. I'll give you 2 choices. I eased into my chair. 1. Pack your things and leave, and we finish this civilly. 2. Wait for a subpoena, and prison. Prison? He echoed. Embezzlement, sizable amounts, enjoy several years behind bars. His complexion turned ashen. You'd really press charges? Depends on my mood. Cooperate and I might not. What do you call cooperation? Simple, give back every penny you moved into shell accounts and sign the divorce papers. I haven't hidden anything, I tossed a folder onto the desk. It's all itemized. He opened it and paled as the columns of figures marched down the pages, every transfer he'd made in the past 3 years. When did you dig this up? I started 3 years ago. My voice was ice. Did you think I was too stupid to notice? He collapsed into the chair. Then why stay silent? Curiosity. I wanted to see how low you'd sink. I rose, towering over him. Congratulations, you undershot my worst guess. Serena, don't say my name, it curdles in your mouth. I cut him off. 24 hours. Comply or receive a court summons. I left the home office without a backward glance. Behind me came the sound of him sobbing, but I felt nothing. He'd sewn every stitch of this catastrophe himself. That afternoon Private called. Vance, Marcus went to Brielle's apartment, they had a vicious fight. About what? He demanded she terminate the pregnancy, said he has no money to raise a child. She accused him of trying to dump them. Outcome? Brielle broke up with him, he begged until he promised to raise the cash. She relented, for now. I gave a thin smile. Where will he find money? My sources say he visited 3 loan shark offices this afternoon and took another loan. How much? 500,000, 10% monthly interest. I hissed through my teeth. He's lost his mind. At that rate the yearly interest alone would be 600 grand on top of the principal. He was digging his own grave. Marcus didn't come home that night. I assumed he was with Brielle. He showed up at dawn, unshaven and hollow-eyed. Have you decided? I asked. Serena, can't we talk this through? Accept or reject, those are the menu options. He wavered, then nodded. I accept. I lifted an eyebrow. Sure. Yes. The word was barely a whisper. But I want one concession. Which is? After the divorce you won't stop me from seeing Brielle, and the baby. I laughed coldly. You still think you're in a position to bargain? Serena, please, it's all I ask. Looking at his pitiful state, I felt no flicker of pity. Fine, after you pay back every dollar. Deal. We shook on it. What Marcus didn't realize was that the curtain had only just risen. He believed signing the agreement would end the nightmare, but he was catastrophically naive. The next day, while he was in line at the title company to return a concealed brokerage account, 4 men in black blocked his path. Sterling, time to settle up. The leader tapped a steel pipe against his palm. What money? Marcus tried to bluff. 500 grand you took 2 days ago, plus 50 in interest, 550 total. Marcus's throat bobbed. We agreed on monthly interest, terms changed. The man smirked. Daily interest now, 10,000 a day. Daily? That's insane. Read the contract. He shoved a copy forward. Clause 6, fine print. Marcus scanned it and his hands began to tremble. I don't have it. No? The man's grin widened. There are other currencies. We hear your girlfriend's a looker, send her to entertain the crew and the debt disappears. Marcus shot to his feet. Stay away from her. Then pay. You have 72 hours. After that we collect, one way or another. He paused. Or maybe your rich wife could cover it? I'm divorcing her, she'll never help. Too bad. The leader headed for the door. Clocks ticking. When they left, Marcus sank onto the marble bench, head in his hands. That afternoon he slunk back to the lakeside mansion. Serena, I'm in trouble. What trouble? I kept my tone bored. Loan sharks cornered me. They want the money now. Then pay them. I don't have it, figure it out. It's not my problem. Serena, please, just lend me 500,000. I'll repay every cent. No. They threatened to go after Brielle, her safety isn't my responsibility. He stared at me, aghast. You've become ice cold. Cold? I retorted. When you betrayed me, did you consider how I felt? And now you complain I'm cold? I know I was wrong. Wrong doesn't begin to cover it, Marcus. I stood. Clean up your own mess. He trudged out, defeat bowing his shoulders. That night Private phoned again. Vance, Marcus confessed everything to Brielle. She's terrified and wants him to fix it immediately. His solution? He asked her to go back to her hometown and hide until he settles the debt. Brielle agreed? At first she didn't, but then Marcus told her that if she stayed, both she and the baby would be in danger. Only then did Brielle say yes. I frowned. She's really going back to her hometown? Yes. Marcus gave her $100,000 to leave first. $100,000? Where did he get that? Sold his car. I was a little surprised. I hadn't expected Marcus to be willing to give up that much. Also, Marcus went to several banks today trying to apply for personal credit, but every one of them turned him down. Predictable. His credit score is trash, no bank will touch him. After hanging up, I felt a mess inside. The next day Brielle left the city for real. Marcus took her to the train station, they clung to each other and cried. Watching that footage on the home security feed, my stomach twisted in ways I couldn't name. Whatever else, they did feel something for each other. It was only that those feelings were cemented on top of betrayal, so sooner or later it would all crumble. On the third day the loan shark people came again. This time they walked right up to our front door and blocked it. Sterling, time's up. Marcus stood there pale. I need more time. No more time, the leader sneered. Either you pay, or... His gaze slid past Marcus and landed on me. Must be Sterling. Pretty thing, aren't you? I stared back, voice icy. What do you want? Just collecting what we're owed, he said with a greasy grin. Heard the missus is loaded? My money has nothing to do with him, I said, jerking my thumb at Marcus. We're getting divorced. Divorced? The guy blinked, then burst out laughing. Sterling, you're a piece of work, dumping your wife too? Marcus looked ready to puke. No matter, the man went on, features turning cold. The debt's still due. Since wifey won't bail you out, we'll try something else. What way? Marcus asked, voice shaking. Ship you down south to dig coal. A healthy man should fetch a few $100,000. Marcus's face drained of every last drop of color. Kidding, the man said suddenly, grinning again. We're civilized, we don't do that. Then what do you want? Simple. You've got arms and legs, right? Come work for us. $10,000 a month, you'll be square in a few years. It sounded almost reasonable, until you realized that once Marcus walked in, he'd never walk free again. I'll think about it, he managed. Nothing to think about, the man snapped. You're coming now. At that moment I spoke. Wait. Every head turned to me. I'll pay his debt. A few beats of dead silence, then the leader guffawed. Sterling's got a heart after all. Marcus gaped. Serena, you. $500,000, was it? I cut him off, looking at the man. That's $600 now, interest for the last couple days, he said, smug. I nodded. Fine. But I have one condition. Name it. From this second on, Marcus is clean. You never come near him again. Easy. Cash rules. I went inside, tore a check from the book, and wrote $600,000. Take it. The leader inspected the check, saw it was good, and gave a satisfied grunt. Pleasure doing business, Sterling. Holla if you ever need anything. They left. Marcus just stood there, speechless for the longest time. Finally he croaked, "Why? Why what? Why help me?" I looked at him coldly. "You think I'm helping you? Aren't you?" "I'm helping myself." I turned toward the house. "If they hauled you off, my money would disappear forever." He followed me inside. "Serena, thank you. Save it." I spun around. 600 grand plus what you already owe me makes 5 million. I want every cent back, with interest." 5 million? He froze. "I don't have that kind of money." "Your problem." My voice could have frozen the lake out back. "But you will pay." "And if I can't?" "Then pay with your life." The chill in my tone wasn't an act. "Don't test me, Marcus." He went white. I'll pay." "You'd better." The next days Marcus tried everything to raise cash. He applied for dozens of jobs, every one rejected him. With his credit in ruins, no reputable firm would touch him. In the end he took the lowest manual labor, hauling bricks, delivering takeout, whatever paid a day's wage. He came home each night exhausted, a few $100s richer at most. At that pace he'd be working off 5 million for the rest of his life. Watching him drag himself in every evening, I felt nothing. He'd earned every blister. A month later he broke. "Serena, I need to talk." "Talk? Could you cut the debt?" "I'll never manage this much." I laughed once, sharp. "Cut it? On what grounds?" "We were married once." "Married?" I cut him off. "The minute you betrayed me, that marriage ceased to exist." Then how about signing over all my equity stake?" "That should cover part of it." "Your company?" I mocked. "It's an empty shell. Worthless." His face turned a sickly gray. "So what do I do?" he asked, voice cracking. "Keep working and keep paying," I said flatly. "There's no third option." That evening he phoned Brielle. They talked for hours. I heard him crying. "Brielle, I'm sorry, you and Noah deserve better." "Marcus, I don't blame you. We're both victims here. If I can never repay her, find someone decent and move on." "Don't talk like that." "I'll wait." Listening, I felt a strange twinge. Maybe what they had was real, just born at the wrong time. Next day Brielle called me herself. "Vance, it's Brielle." "What do you want?" "I need to see you." "It's about Marcus, this can't go on." "More drama?" "A solution, I hope." I hesitated. "Same place as before." That afternoon we met at Riverdale. She looked drained, her belly rounder under the cotton dress. "Serena, please let him go." "Let him go?" I scoffed. "He committed the crime, now he does the time." "I know he hurt you, but hasn't he suffered enough?" "Enough?" I shook my head. "We haven't even started." She blanched. "Then take everything I have in exchange for his freedom." "And what exactly do you have?" I asked, sarcastic. "You're pregnant and alone." "I'll leave him, forever, if you'll free him of the debt." Her voice shook. "Just say the word." I studied her, surprised. "You'd really walk away?" "I don't want to, but I will, for his sake." The resolve in her eyes stirred something in me. Maybe she truly loved him. But love didn't rewrite the ledger. "Noble speech," I said coldly, "but it changes nothing. Marcus owes me, and he will pay." "Then what if I end the pregnancy?" she said suddenly. That pulled me up short. "Excuse me?" "If our baby is the chain around his neck, I'll cut it." Her hand trembled on her bump, agony in her eyes. "Spare him and I'll abort tomorrow." "Brielle, are you insane?" "No." She swallowed. If my child is the reason Marcus suffers, I'd rather not have the child. I stared at her hard. Don't even think about it. Then give him a chance, she whispered, and slid from her chair onto her knees in the middle of the cafe. I'll do anything. Looking at her on the floor, my emotions knotted tight. I understood her pain, every woman would. Yet the wife in me couldn't simply pardon. Get up, I sighed at last. The baby's innocent, don't punish the child. So you'll. I'm saying the child is irrelevant to the debt, I stated. Marcus still owes every dollar. Despair clouded her face. However, I continued, if you two honestly love each other, I'll offer a deal. Name it. I'll write off half, 2.5 million, on one condition. Tell me. You both apologize publicly. You admit the affair, admit the wrong, and promise it ends here. Publicly, she echoed. In front of friends, family, everyone. No lies, no excuses. Humiliating, yes, but cheaper than millions. She waited for a long minute, then nodded. Fine. I accept. A week later I threw a party. Friends, relatives, Marcus's co-workers, college buddies, both our families, filled the house. They thought it was just drinks and canapés. I knew it would be a courtroom. Marcus and Brielle arrived early, nurse crackling around them. Everyone, I called from the center of the living room, clinking a glass. I have announcements. The chatter died. First, Marcus and I are divorcing. Gasps, especially from our parents. Serena, what happened? My mother demanded. Marcus cheated, I answered coolly. And got his assistant pregnant. The room exploded in whispers and exclamations. Marcus stood sheet white, eyes on the floor. Now, I went on, Marcus and Brielle will apologize. He hesitated, then rose. I'm sorry, he mumbled. I betrayed Serena. I betrayed our marriage. Louder, I snapped. Back row can't hear. Marcus inhaled. I'm sorry to Serena and to everyone who cared about us. I'm scum. I cheated and I got my mistress pregnant. Shock rippled through the crowd, fingers pointed, phones already recording. Your turn, Brielle. She stood, tears streaming. I'm sorry, she choked. I destroyed Serena's marriage. I knew it was wrong and I did it anyway. I'm sorry to Serena and to all of you. Silence fell, thick and condemning. Good, I said simply. Now the truth is out there. Serena, how could you disgrace them like this? Marcus's mother burst out. Family scandals stay indoors. Family scandal? I sneered. They're the ones who disgraced themselves, not me. But what you're doing is too much. Too much? I cut her off. When your son betrayed me, why didn't you say it was too much? Now that they're the ones apologizing, you suddenly think I'm the one going too far? Marcus's mother was rendered speechless. All right, everyone knows the truth now. Let's call it a day. I waved my hand. The guests filed out one after another, each of them shooting strange looks at Marcus and Brielle as they left. Finally, only a few of us remained. Serena, are you satisfied now? Marcus glared at me, furious. Pretty much, I said flatly. Per our agreement, I'm forgiving half your debt. From here on, you only owe me 2.5 million. 2.5 million. Marcus gave a bitter smile. That's still astronomical to me. That's your problem. My voice was ice. But I can give you more time. How long? 10 years. 10 years? Marcus was stunned. That's right. Pay it off within 10 years, no interest. The terms were generous, yet for Marcus, the burden remained crushing. I understand. He nodded weakly. In the days that followed, Marcus became a rat crossing the street. News of his public apology swept through every circle. Everyone knew he was the scumbag who'd cheated on his wife. No company would hire him, no friend would lift a finger. He survived by taking the most bottom-rung jobs he could find. Brielle fared little better. She was forced to resign and retreated to her hometown to wait out the pregnancy. When her family learned the truth, their disappointment ran deep. 2 months later, she gave birth to a boy. Marcus wanted to see the child, but Brielle's family barred the door. They refused to let this disgrace to the family name come near the baby. Watching Marcus grind away for a few dollars a day stirred something complicated in me. Maybe my revenge had been enough? Yet whenever I recalled the days of his betrayal, it still felt insufficient. Half a year later, I received unexpected news. Brielle wanted to see me. We met in the hospital. She lay in bed, her face pale, her whole frame fragile. "Serena, thank you for coming." What happened? I hated her, yet seeing her like this, concern crept in. Postnatal depression, plus pressure from my family. I couldn't take it. I swallowed sleeping pills. I was shaken. "You tried to end yourself?" She nodded. I felt living was too hard, on Marcus, on everyone. "And the baby?" "With my mom." Pain flooded her eyes. "Serena, I know you hate me, but I don't know what else to do." Looking at her gaunt features, my heart swirled with conflicting flavors. She had done wrong, but death seemed far too steep a price. "What do you want to say to me?" "I'm begging you for one thing." She turned her head toward me. "If I die, could you treat Marcus a little more kindly?" "You're still thinking of him?" "I love him." Her voice was steady. "Wrong as our beginning was, I truly love him." "Then why give up living?" "Because my being alive only hurts him more." She smiled miserably. "My family won't accept him, he can't support us, together, we're just more pain." I fell silent. She was right, under the circumstances, staying together was nearly impossible. "Brielle, if I agree to wipe out his debt, will you promise me one thing?" "What is it?" Live properly, and raise your child." She blinked. You'd really forgive what he owes?" "Yes, but only if you choose to live." I held her gaze. A child can't grow up without a mother. Tears spilled down Brielle's cheeks. "Thank you, Serena." "Don't thank me. I just don't want to see a child lose his mom." That night I sought out Marcus. He was elbow-deep in suds at a restaurant. Shock registered the moment he saw me. "Serena? What are you doing here?" "I need to talk." We stepped outside onto the quiet sidewalk. "Brielle tried to kill herself," I said without preamble. Marcus's face drained of color. "What? Is she?" "They saved her. She's in the hospital. I have to see her." He spun toward the street. "Wait." I blocked him. "I'll cancel every dollar you owe me." He froze. "Come again?" "Your debt is gone." "I don't want the money." "Why?" He couldn't believe it. "Because I'm tired." I exhaled. Hatred hurts us all. Let it end here. Tears welled in Marcus's eyes. "Serena, thank you. Spare me. This is for the child." I looked at him hard. A kid deserves an intact family. I don't know what to say." "Say nothing. Just take care of Brielle and the baby from now on." I started to leave, then glanced back. "Marcus, this is your last chance. Don't blow it again." "I won't. I swear." I gave a single nod and walked away. A month later, Marcus and Brielle had a simple wedding. No guests, no ceremony, just the paperwork at the city clerk's office. I didn't attend, but I heard they both cried. Maybe that was exactly the ending they wanted. When the divorce papers were finalized, I felt as though a boulder rolled off my chest. 3 years of marriage, 1 year of vengeance, finished at last. I threw myself back into my company, and momentum returned fast. Without Marcus dragging me down, the business thrived. 6 months later, at an industry cocktail reception, I met an intriguing man. His name was Ethan, managing partner of a VC firm, 3 years older than me, divorced, father of an 8-year-old girl. "Vance, I've heard a lot about you." He raised his glass in greeting. "Cross flatters me." We talked for hours and discovered we shared plenty of common ground. He was courteous, thoughtful, and, most importantly, transparent. "I've heard the stories," he said at one point. "Which stories?" "The ones about your ex-husband." He met my eyes. "I think you handled it brilliantly, retribution without sacrificing grace." Surprised, I asked, "How so?" "Only someone strong can forgive an enemy." "That tells me you're formidable." His words piqued my interest. Over the next few months we saw each other often, and the bond deepened. One day he asked suddenly, "Serena, do you still believe in love?" I considered. "I do, but I'll be more cautious." "Then would you give me a chance?" His sincerity tugged at me. "Fine, but I have one condition." "Name it." "Total honesty, no secrets." "Of course." He nodded. "I expect the same from you." So we began anew. Ethan proved himself daily, attentive to me, devoted to his daughter. He hid nothing, not his past, not his finances, not even his flaws. A year later, we married. The ceremony was intimate, just closest friends and family. Among the faces in the crowd, one surprised me, Marcus. He stood at a distance, watching quietly. He had lost weight, looked haggard, yet his eyes were calm. After the reception, he approached. "Serena, congratulations." "Thank you." My tone was even. "You look happy." "I am." "That's all I hoped." He gave a rueful smile. "I owe you an apology, a real one." "It's unnecessary, let the past stay buried." "No, I have to say it." He held my gaze. "I'm sorry I hurt you, sorry I broke your trust. Words can't fix it, but I need you to know, I regret it more than anything." I studied him and felt nothing stir. All the love, all the hate, turned to mist. "Marcus, I've let go." "You should too." "I know." He dipped his head. "Meeting you was the luckiest thing that ever happened to me, and the biggest thing I ever screwed up." With that, he turned and walked away. I didn't call after him, no more words were needed. Some people, some chapters, belong to yesterday. 3 years into our marriage, Ethan and I had a daughter, adorable, tiny, we named her Amy. Tessa doted on her new sister, and our foursome settled into bliss. One afternoon at Freshmart I ran into Brielle. She pushed a cart, inside sat a 3-year-old boy. "Serena." She greeted me first. "Brielle, hi." Awkwardness hovered, we both felt it. "That's your son?" I glanced at the child. His name's Noah." Motherly softness lit her face. "Noah, say hi to Auntie." "Hi, Auntie." The little boy behaved beautifully. "He's precious." I meant it. "Serena, thank you." Brielle's voice trembled. "For what?" "For your generosity back then. Without it, we wouldn't have today." I shook my head. "You earned that second chance." "Marcus works at a small firm now, pays modest, but we're content." "Glad to hear it." "Serena, I've always wanted to tell you, We were all wrong, but the way you handled it gave us redemption. I smiled, a touch wistful. The past is dust. We all have new lives now. True. She nodded. May you stay happy forever. You too. We parted, and a tangle of emotions rose inside me. Life is strange, former enemies, chatting like civil strangers. Perhaps that's time's greatest power, it dissolves even the sharpest hate. Back home, Ethan noticed my mood. Deep thoughts? Just old memories, good and bad. He slipped an arm around me. What matters is the present. And our future. Exactly. Let the past lie. Thank you for listening. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate this story? If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up and share it with friends. We'd love to hear your take in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe for more gripping tales. See you next time.